Good morning from Grand Teton National Park. Today we're going to share with you the perfect one-day itinerary to hit all of the most scenic spots, best photo spots, and we'll give you the best tips for how to see wildlife, all without rushing. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we're Jay and Nina, an adventure travel couple based out of Jackson Hole. We've lived here for a few years now, so if you have any questions about the area, go check out our channel. We have a whole playlist on everything you would need to know about your trip to Jackson Hole.
All right, it is 5:30 a.m. and we're just heading out of town, actually just past the airport. We always recommend getting up for sunrise for two reasons. Number one, it's great for taking pictures because the light's awesome. And then number two, wildlife is most active at dawn. So even while you're driving, if you're not a big photographer, keep your eyes peeled for wildlife. That guy was already growing a decent print. That guy was kind of big.
So the sun rises in about 7 minutes and we're walking up and we already see a moose, which honestly sketches me out a little bit because there's so many people here and the moose is pretty close, but this is a pretty popular spot to see them in the park. We just noticed there is a little baby moose behind the mom. Neither of us have ever seen a moose that small. It is so cute, but that means we need to stay extra far because the mom moose are the ones that can be really aggressive. Even in the summer, sunrise can be pretty chilly, so it's always nice to have a blanket, especially if you're getting here early for parking or for a good spot. You're gonna be hanging out in the cold for a little while. The main thing that makes this spot so special is that you get the reflection of the Tetons in the water right here. I will say today the water is a little choppy, so the reflection isn't super smooth, but usually this is like a photographer's dream.
Normally, when the sun is rising, people are fighting for a good spot toward the mountains, but today, because of the mom and baby moose, people are pretty split, and a lot of people's cameras are pointing the other way.
That was crazy and kind of terrifying. And seeing a baby too was so cute.
We got to Schwabacher around 5:40 and are heading out at around 6:15. So I would expect to be there for about 30 minutes and I would go even earlier if you want to try and get a good photo spot.
All right, now that the sun is up, we have about a 30-minute drive to our next spot, which is Oxbow Bend. But on the way over there, we're gonna pass one of the best spots to see bison in Grand Teton National Park. So we're gonna see if they're out. So still early enough that they might be pretty active. There we go, there's the bison herd. Sometimes they'll come up right here, but this is not bad. This is the only spot we've ever seen the bison herd in Grand Teton National Park. And if you want to see them up close, we highly recommend having some binoculars in your car because it's pretty rare that they're actually close to the road.
Before you reach our next stop, and to get to Oxbow Bend, you're gonna need to pass through the Moran Junction Ranger Station. And this time of year is the time for us to renew our annual pass.
I would definitely recommend walking down towards the water, especially if it's smooth, because you can get some awesome reflection pictures.
All right, we made it down to Oxbow Bend for a quick stop. This is pretty all times a year, and it's a good spot for bird watching and seeing Mount Moran plus the reflection in the water. But we especially love this spot in the fall when all the leaves are changing. Oh, there's elk crossing the river.
Oh.
All right, we just finished up at Oxbow Bend and we passed the turnoff to go back towards Jackson on the Inner Park Loop, but we decided to go north a little bit further and we're gonna make a stop at Jackson Lake Lodge, which is just about 2 minutes up the road from Oxbow Bend. This is a great spot to use the restroom. I have to pee right now, so that's perfect. Also to grab a coffee. We'll show you inside why we like it so much. And then we're gonna head up towards Colter Bay. And all of these make up some of the best viewpoints in Grand Teton National Park. At this point in the drive, it's really nice to have a place to stop to go to the bathroom and fill up water. But our favorite thing about Jackson Lake Lodge is the views from the lobby. Since it's only 8 a.m. right now, I think I'm gonna get a coffee in the lobby, but they also have a restaurant here with really scenic views if you're here around lunchtime. It's only 8 a.m., so I got a breakfast burrito this morning, but the real reason to come here is for the views. As soon as you walk in the lobby, you see Mount Moran and Jackson Lake, and then as you look down, you get a really unique view of the Tetons from the north end.
And you can chill here for as long as you want, but now we're heading to our next spot at Colter Bay. The fact that we've already seen a moose, elk, and bison is pretty awesome, but the one big animal we have not seen is bears. And fortunate for us, the stretch between Oxbow Bend and Colter Bay is a hotspot. If you guys are enjoying this video, we wanted to take a moment to tell you about our Jackson Hole and Grand Teton National Park
guide. If you click the link in the description, you can set up an account on Rexby. You'll get access to the pins and locations of all the spots in this driving tour. And if you want to upgrade to the full version, you'll get access to everything you'd ever want to know about Grand Teton, Yellowstone, as well as Glacier National Park. Keep your eye out in a lot of these meadows, because the bears will like to hang out in here, but stay close to the tree line. Last year, we had an awesome sighting right in here of a mama bear and her 3 cubs. To get here, you're gonna go past the visitor center and then hang a right to go next to the marina, and you can just walk out to the shore. This is an awesome spot to have a picnic next to the shore, or if you're ambitious enough and the cold water doesn't scare you away, to go for a swim. Never sounds good, but after you do it, you're always so glad you did.
Well, Jay might be cold plunging, but I just took a nap in the car for like 10 minutes and I'm staying cozy and warm on the shore with my blanket. No bears yet, which is a good thing since we're out of the car. I really only want to see a bear if we're in the car, but they are very common at Colter Bay. It is crazy that we are the only people here right now though. In the middle of the day when it's hot, this is like the beach, as close as the beach you can get in Wyoming.
All right, it's now or never.
Morning cold plunge.
Really not bad. It's pretty shocking how warm the water was. Almost as shocking is how many of you guys are watching these videos and aren't subscribed to our channel. So there's like a bajillion rocks and none of them are skippable. Who?
All right, we are just now leaving Colter Bay and we are officially making our way back towards Jackson. So Colter Bay was the most northern spot on today's drive. And as we're driving back towards the Inner Park Loop, we're gonna pass Signal Mountain Drive. And that's one of those spots we mentioned earlier this morning that can also be great for sunrise. We're not gonna go ahead and drive up there right now because it is about a 30-minute trek to the top. But if you're on this side of the park, especially early in the morning, we do really enjoy it for sunrise. Just be pretty aware of bears up there. We are only backtracking on the road we came here on for a couple of miles, and then we will officially switch over to the Inner Park Loop, which is one of my favorite drives to be able to see the Tetons from this northern angle. So we've made it over to kind of the main section of the park on the Inner Park Road. We just turned on to the Jenny Lake Scenic Loop Drive, and pretty much anywhere in here at Jenny Lake or Taggart Lake, this whole area of the park, parking is going to be a lot more difficult to find, especially in July and August, and especially midday. So if you're hoping to park and hang out or hike in any of these areas, we definitely recommend getting there early or even going in the afternoon. We've had pretty good luck finding parking spots at like 3 or 4 p.m. and doing a short afternoon hike as well. If it is your first time in Grand Teton National Park, we highly recommend doing the little Jenny Lake Scenic Loop Drive. It can feel a little slow, it's just a one-way street, but some of the views, especially of the Tetons coming from the northern angle, are just so beautiful. We specifically love the view at Cathedral Group Turnout, and we think it is one of the most underrated photo spots in the park. All right, we just pulled off at the Jenny Lake Scenic Overlook, and this is a great spot if you're planning to visit Grand Teton without any hiking, since you get views of the lake from above without much effort. That being said, there are a lot of great hikes in the area if you want to do something out in the afternoon. A good one is to walk the perimeter of Jenny Lake. It's a 7-mile loop, or you can just do little sections of it. They also have the Jenny Lake shuttle boat that leaves from the visitor center and takes you across the lake just below Hidden Falls and Inspiration Point. Hidden Falls is a very short hike up, and Inspiration Point a little bit longer. And then right past Inspiration Point is one of our top favorite hikes in the entire park, Cascade Canyon. And if you haven't seen a moose yet, we highly recommend going into Cascade Canyon. We have never done that hike and not seen a moose. One other fun thing about Jenny Lake is it's known as one of the most beautiful lakes in the United States. And with the backdrop of the mountains, you can definitely see why.
If all the parking at Jenny seems a little too overwhelming, you can also come back to Taggart, which is still busy, but the hike to Taggart Lake is a little bit less demanding and very family friendly. When you exit the park, if you are hungry or it's close to lunchtime, Dornan's is an awesome spot. It's just right next to the park entrance. We love to get pizza and sit outside, and it's got incredible views of the Grand and all the mountains. Definitely one of our favorite places to eat in the area. Another great option instead of eating at Dornan's is to actually head into town. Go explore Town Square if you're only in Jackson for a day. We have an entire video on walking Town Square if you want to go check that out. And now we are heading to the last, but potentially one of the most famous spots in all of Grand Teton National Park, Mormon Row.
So Mormon Row is known for these historic buildings and these postcard perfect views of the Tetons. Like Jay said, our favorite time to visit here is at sunset, and we are going to be wrapping up our driving tour here. But if you get here and you still haven't seen a moose and that's something you really want to do, you can actually drive the road that we're on back towards the town of Kelly and then down Gravant Road back towards Jackson. It's going to be a much longer route to get back to Jackson, but there tends to be a good moose habitat and you have a chance of seeing one. That wraps up our driving tour of Grand Teton National Park. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, we have a full guide to all things Jackson Hole, Grand Teton, Yellowstone, and Glacier linked down in the description. And we'll catch you guys next time for the best day ever. All right, now the sun is up and blasting us hard. We have about not yet. No.
Oh, can it skip? That is the question. A little bulkier than I like. Oh, all right. I got more than 2, so I'm happy with that. I'm gonna quit.